The filter-free diary. Uh,
Good evening. It's about 6, I think. Maybe 6:30. I just finished my s'mores. I'm gonna have dinner later. But it was warm enough now to make a fire, so yeah, hopefully you were able to see I made a fire. And it's kind of keeping me warm. I'm gonna stand closer to it. If you hear me scream, it's just, I probably set myself on fire. So I wanna talk to you about numbers. Because, numbers are a thing. And I'm sorry that so many of you are anti-number because, math can be overly complicated, especially if you don't get a good teacher to explain it to you, right? But math, not the same thing as numbers. Numbers are like the foundation, right? Math is just all the cool things you can do with them. Now you can find patterns, you can make new patterns, you can figure out things. Math is pretty cool. But I just want to talk about numbers. And the thing is, we've gone kind of heavy on the numbers recently, and one of the rules of Spirit Club, aside from the fact that you have to talk about Spirit Club, is you can't make things complicated. So every time I explain something, it has to be in its most basic fundamental pieces, because the idea is if you really understand something, you can explain it simply, and it's true. And if you can't explain it simply, you just do not understand it well enough yet. Keep plugging away at it, you'll get there. So I can't make things too complicated, but what I can do, for any of you weirdo mathos out there like me, I can tell you that I have a bunch of other videos on this YouTube channel that feature some math and some patterns. And we've already talked about some of them, but in a much more simpler way. So if you're looking for something a little meatier, a little heavier, a little more awesome math-wise, check those out. Because I'm not going to try and explain those here, because I can't. Because that's the second rule of Spirit Club. These things have to be simple and basic. So what I can do is I can piecemeal stuff, and I can point you to the Old Testament where the books of the Bible are Genesis, in the beginning, and then Exodus. We're gonna run away from the feminine. And then Leviticus, number 3, men are gonna be holy. Oh no. And then number 4 is Numbers, and probably should be number 1, but we can do number 4 as Numbers. That number belongs to Spirit anyways. And there's numbers all over the Bible. I'm sure you've noticed that. If you're like me, you probably skip over that part. Because I'm not going to imagine what some ark was like and how big it was in your silly dimensions. That's for the engineer that wants to recreate that shit. I believe you. It's a big ass ark. Okay. I don't need those kind of details. Those aren't for me. So I skip over them. But that's just symbols in the Bible. Because the Bible, those numbers, they're not really for math. Not really. The thing about numbers is Man did not create numbers. Woman didn't create numbers either, in case you thought I was going to swing that way. Numbers don't belong to people, animals, plants, minerals, vegetables, nothing. Numbers are the closest thing to an angelic language that you're ever going to find here. And I say that because angels aren't a thing, but we're not there yet. We'll get there. But numbers are like, yeah, they're like the language of spirit. You could say that. It definitely smacks me in the head with numbers. More often than not. 47, 47, 47. So numbers just kind of got appropriated by people to make a counting system because things are so important here, but not really. So I like math. Math is cool, but math isn't really the point. The point is the numbers. And maybe that's why it's the fourth book of their Bible. They're really desiring to understand the numbers. At least they should be. So anyways, it's getting cold. I'm going in. Have a good evening.